Salut everyone! In this video, we'll be talking about GLF OS. Not to confond with GLF OS or MILF OS. Yes, like what's wrong with you guys? Like I've seen that in my chat when I was testing the distro. Like what's happening with you? Well, anyways, GLF OS stands for Gaming Linux Friends. And what they are coming for is the distro that will make the transition from Windows to Linux gaming almost seamless. So did they succeed or not? Let's get into it. As always, we're going to start with a little bit of context. The first thing I want to say is I've been part of the development since day one. I've been testing multiple alpha release. I've been testing the beta release too. I was able to stream in advance before even they release the beta to the public, the actual distro. And I have to say, on my hand, it has been a ton of fun working with them, trying to, help them to improve the project. That being said, it doesn't mean that my review is going to be totally biased because first, I'm part of the team. Two, I'm French. So you could be like, oh, this guy is going to push this distro because, he's friend with them. No, so I might lose some friends at the end of this video, but well, it is what it is, right? And second point, you're gonna see it right away. I'm trying to change the way I'm making this video. So if you don't see my face on the right here, don't be worried, I'm still with you guys. So let's start with the basic. What is GLF OS? So GLF OS is a NixOS based Linux distribution designed to simplify system configuration through a declarative approach. Unlike traditional distribution, where you manually tweak settings, NixOS lets you define your system configuration in code, making it highly reproducible and customizable. You can find my review of NixOS on this channel, just look for it. It's not my favorite distro when it comes to gaming, but I do like the fact that GLF team is using this base for developing this specific distro. And let me explain you why. It's actually tailored for specific use case. GLF OS includes several variants. There is a gaming and also a content creation edition within their distro. And the project itself, as I said in the intro, aims to bridge the gap between the power of NixOS and the user friendliness of the more mainstream distro like Ubuntu or Mint. So what GLF OS could be really ideal for? Well, it's ready for gaming enthusiasts. We'll see later in the video, the distro bring a lot of power under the hood, that's for sure. It could be also good, I think, a good opportunity for all the developers out there because it's relatively easy on NixOS to create different environments and work on them because of the pure nature of the distro itself. And right now, because GLF OS is also in beta, and we're going to talk about it later, it's still in really hardcore development as we speak. If you are jumping into this boat, be prepared to contribute. Okay, I would say it's ready for people who want to contribute as we speak, because the distro is not finished, in my opinion. We will also talk a little bit about that later. And so if you want to contribute, if you want them to reach their optimum level, they need feedback. So that will be the third category of user who could be involved with this distro. Now, I repeat, if you are looking for a stable all-in-one OS for everyday tasks, you might want to wait for the official release. I repeat, this is a beta. Now, if you are waiting for the release date, it should be available at the end of 2025, early 2026. I know they have been respecting all their different timeline when you come to release of the beta and also of the alpha, but I'm thinking the correct date should be at the end of the year, beginning of next year, 2026. Right now, and even later, I don't know if it's going to change in the future, they already have a vision which is super clear in terms of what the distro is really aiming for. And so you're going to have a stable version with older packages, more I would say stable, following the release cycle of NixOS. which I believe it's every 6 months for like major upgrade. And they're gonna have another branch called rolling, and this one is gonna be more with like the latest packages being pushed no matter what. I would say kind of like a Fedora or Arch type of approach, maybe more like Arch, where it's just like new coming and eating your PC. And within those two branches, what you're gonna get is 3 editions. So they have like the first one, which is called like Mini, which is a minimalistic one with almost like no packages, just a fluid install and the bare minimum to do like some office work, I would say. And this one would be ready for people who are already like used to NixOS and want to build their own stuff. And another, I would say like target here would be like people who have like a small like laptop, for example, like a PC which is not super powerful and just want to do like a basic office stuff. The advantage of the Mini is like because we are in the NixOS system, when there is any type of upgrade, you don't have a lot of packages to upgrade. It's gonna be really like a smooth sailing and not really like pushing on resources that you might be in need of. The second edition is called Standard Edition, I believe, and it's gonna be ready like for the gamer. Here you're gonna have everything including in the Mini, plus all the different tools and application related to gaming. So I'm thinking about MangoHud, about all the game launcher, all the different stuff already included in the distro. You start it, you have Discord, you have Steam installed, you are literally ready to game. You just have to download your game or just like maybe like mount one of your hard drive with all your game and you are good to go. And the latest one is called the Studio. And the Studio will be ready like targeting the content creator user. This one comes with DaVinci Resolve. You can select if you want the pro version or the normal version. It comes with Blender, it comes with GIMP, it comes with like so many software ready out of the box with everything installed for the content creator out there. So I know I made a lot of video about how to install DaVinci Resolve on multiple distro. This could be the all-in-one distro. You just put the USB key there, you install, and you have everything set up, ready to go. So more on that later in the video, because yes, we're still in beta phase, and yeah, have a lot of things to say about that. But when it releases, it could be the one. I'm not even kidding. It could be the one for all the content creators out there who don't want to have a headache with Linux. As always, let's start with the pro and what makes GLF OS so unique in my opinion. So the first thing is like it's one of a really few distro which is based on NixOS. It really leverages all the declarative model which come with NixOS, which also means that your system configuration is defined in code. Everything is super robust. This also makes it super easy to replicate setup, roll back changes, and automate all your updates. So for example, if you're a developer, you can define your entire environment in a single file, ensuring consistency across all the devices. And this is what they do. They come with a specific configuration during the install, which is totally open source, available on their GitHub. And the installation process is totally streamlined. You have nothing to do. Unlike traditional distro, where you have to manually configure the driver, settings, GLF OS handle much of them automatically. So for example, like the OS detects like your hardware and simply installs the necessary GPU driver. Even if there is some limitation, we'll talk about it. You have everything including out of the box. It's also out for the gamer. They have the GPU driver installed. They have the kernel with specific patches. I'm thinking about the CachyOS patches there. So you really have like this out-of-the-box experience, which is golden. You have nothing to do on paper. When it comes to desktop environment, right now there is only 2 desktop environments, GNOME and KDE. I believe they're going to really be focusing on those ones. I don't think they're going to extend, and we'll talk about it later. But you will see everything is pretty straightforward. You selection your desktop environment during the installation, and you're gonna have like a vanilla experience on KDE. On GNOME, they did some tweak, but they are really light. I would say like it's just the basic when you come to GNOME. So you won't have like the feeling it's super bloated. In my opinion, it's super mainline. The other like big value added related to NixOS is the fact that after using KDE for a certain amount of time, if you are tired of it, you can switch to GNOME, right? And you can do the other way, like you can switch from GNOME to KDE. So they have this little application that help you to switch between GNOME and KDE or KDE and GNOME after the installation. And this is I would say like the main strength of NixOS. It's immutable and it's really like easy to rebase to another GE without losing any personal data or anything. You don't have to reinstall your old distro, you just switch like that. Boom. And they created this little application, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know how many of you are going to be using it, but I thought it was pretty fun. Now we are talking about applications. They also created a nice little app to mount Drive. Mounting Drive on NixOS can be a little bit technical, and especially if you are not used to Linux. And because they try to target really like the Windows user that might switch at the end of the life of Windows 10 in October of this year, they had to build this. And this is a little application which lets you mount any type of hard drive on your NixOS application. And really important, it's all for GUI and it's going to be super easy to set up. All your mount options are being saved. There is a little like option in the app. And you just have to do that once and you are good to go. So this, in my opinion, is really good. When you come to installing application, their vision is really to use like Flatpak for the ease of access and the ease of use. So they come with this application called Easy Flatpak, which is a super like store for FlatHub. And this way, you don't have to mess with the configuration. You can still do it, and we're going to talk about it later. But this is the overall approach, you know, easy of use. You just go, boom, click on download. It's installed on Flatpak on your machine, and it upgrades itself on the next boot. Everything is fine. So this is their vision, the way of doing things. When it comes to performance in game, the one you are certainly waiting for. I've been making my testing, and I'm going to tell you straight, this distro had the record on my machine for a solid week. A solid week, I just explored all my benchmark record with this specific build. So I was really impressed. It had more FPS than CachyOS when I tried it. Not by a lot, like 2 FPS, so nothing crazy again, but it was the number one, so I have to share it with you. And I said it was only 1 week because then, like, CachyOS did some type of upgrade. I redid the test, and then CachyOS came above GLF OS for, again, like 2 or 5 FPS. The good news is that at the end of all those like race between distro, my benchmark again like a solid like 10 FPS. So it was pretty enjoyable. But you get the idea. I had a really good experience when it comes to gaming. I have nothing to say about that. They did a really good job on this part. And the latest point, because again it's really a gaming centric distro, whatever like edition you choose. You're going to notice that you will have on the standard gaming edition a specific driver for all the joystick, gamepad, steering wheel, right? Steering wheel, I repeat, directly included within the distro. I think this is pretty cool to have those installed and configured. So I don't have any of those to test, but the sale here is it's in the OS and it's ready to go. So yeah, that's pretty good. Now let's jump into the negative. And as we know, there is no perfect project out there. I know some MX Linux like to think MX Linux is perfect, but this is another debate. But no, nothing is perfect. And here I found some negative. The first thing I want to say, it's a beta. Okay, I still wanted to push a review because I believe the vision is great. They have solid base. And I wanted to share, you know, my feedback towards the distro. It could be a really good like anchor point for us to see the possible like improvement, let's say like 7 months from now when I retest at the release date. But it's not perfect, and I want you to say it as a disclaimer. A lot of things were still broken during my test. So the first negative I want to talk about is the fact that NixOS, even if it's a really like incredible base for a distro, is still super complex, right? It's a declarative model which is super powerful, but it has also like a steep learning curve. So if you are not familiar with configuration file, or you going to GitHub and try to understand, like what's going on, because most of the configuration is hosted on the GLF OS GitHub, well, you're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. So if you want to learn, this is great. I think it's a good opportunity for you to see what, for example, like a flake configuration look like. But if you are not into this, this might be a little bit overwhelming, to say the least. The second issue that I have to mention related to NixOS is like the documentation is still evolving. It's also sometimes lacking, and this is not as easy as Arch. Okay, it sounds like crazy what I'm going to say, but yeah, it's not as easy as Arch, because at Arch you have so much documentation that even if you do any type of mistake and you don't have the knowledge, you're gonna find your way out. Here it's a little bit more complicated. So on paper, the GLF OS team got your back, right? Because they're the one like maintaining this big configuration for generating the update on your machine, so it shouldn't be a problem. But let's say they have a problem on their hand, well, it's gonna be tough. It's going to be tough for you because the learning curve is pretty steep. Now, the second point is regarding the rolling release branch. As we speak, the rolling release branch might require for you to compile. It's NixOS fault, it's not the GLF OS fault here. The way it works is like if you push really like the latest like beta package or, rolling release packages, well, some of them, you're going to have to compile them yourself. And this, if you have a small PC, small CPU, small hard drive, old hard drive, well, it's going to put a lot of stress on your machine each time you upgrade. And because it's a rolling release type of distro, you're going to have a lot of upgrade. So avoid this one if you are on a budget machine or small machine, or you don't want to compile at all. Something to think about. Third negative is related to the packages. We know that the Nix packages, they have a lot of app included within the distro, but there is certainly certain case where you're gonna have to put your hand under the hood because the packages are not available. So I'll give you a straight example. You want to compile a TKG kernel, well, you won't be able to do it on Nix. In this particular case, you won't need it because they already do it for you. But I'm thinking about packages which might not be available in your specific case where it's a limitation. It's not as easy as to install packages on a basic distro. And this is related to the immutable model. Simple as that. Point number 4 is related to the actual beta stage. So right now, I've been really impressed by the exchange we had with the team. They have been super active to fix most of my issue. But I have to mention it, guys. I had some sound issue while I was playing on my GLF OS beta review. And I don't believe they were able to fix those issues related to the sound. My sound will just stop out of nowhere. And it's really something related to this distro. I never had this problem on any other distro. So something in their configuration, they are working on a fix. I have specific hardware, but you see it tied up with the limitation sometimes to immutable. Maybe they don't have the specific driver for my hardware. Maybe I don't know what's going on, to be fair. But I had this issue. I need to mention it to you. And even if it's still a beta phase, it's kind of crazy that I had sound issue on a distro like that. Other little points that, in my opinion, are going to be able to, getting fixed really soon. But let's say you don't like French. You're going to see a lot of French everywhere in this distro because it's mainly based in French first. and I think they are still in the process of pushing more English. But in the configuration, sometimes you will have application like popping out in French. And even if I love my mother tongue, I always use my PC with English. So yeah, this was annoying me. So I might annoy you too. They are working on it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fixed. But yeah, localization issue are definitely here. And the latest, I would say, like problem overall were related to the driver. So if you are willing to run, like for example, like Blender, you will see that CUDA is not installed properly, so you won't have access to all the NVIDIA feature. I already like share my feedback towards that. If you use OBS, you will see that some of the encoder, I'm thinking about NVENC, was also not available on my beta testing there. So I'm pretty sure they're going to fix it. But again, this is a beta. They give themselves like 6-7 months to fix everything, and they need feedback. I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to iron them out. But yes, it needs to be mentioned. Using it as a daily driver could be a problem, especially if you're a content creator. So, is GLF OS Beta for you? I don't know. It really depends, right? I think if we take a little bit of feedback and you look at the overall vision, they bring something new. It's just not another like distro out there. I think the fact they are based on NixOS puts them in a certain position in terms of like immutable distro, because I do believe like NixOS bring a little bit more flexibility compared to all the other like atomic Fedora-based distro, for example, and that I really like. I also think that their own vision to push a distro to the beginner based on NixOS is a little bit ballsy. But I see where they are going, and I like it. I like it very much because those guys, if they get the hook of Linux by using NixOS, moving to something like more, I would say, like customizable, is going to be fairly easier on this distro than another distro like Bazzite, for example. So this I really like. I also really like their perception when it comes to handling, like the overall like I would say like distribution of configuration. So they are really taking advantage of this NixOS configuration settings, because if you look at the way they build everything, the most of the configuration is gonna be on GitHub. So obviously you're gonna have one part on your hard drive which is gonna be specific to your own hardware, but the big part of the configuration is on GitHub. And this, I really like it, guys. I really like it because first, it kind of shows like how solid the base of the distro are, how open source and really like open they are, because everything is there. So if you have any type of issue related to the configuration, you can open a ticket, they're going to be able to fix the issue and then push the fix to everybody else, because each time you make an upgrade within GLF OS, it ping the configuration on their own GitHub. Okay, so I know I'm getting a little bit deep there, but the idea is that this is a vision I like, right? And it's transparent, and this is what I love about open source, right? Everything is there, open and ready for us to read and check and double check sometime. So this I really like. So yes, I would say like in my opinion, and this is just me, I believe this is my second best vision when it comes to immutable. So I won't give you like which is the first and which is the third, but I'm gonna make a video about that too. But like, you get the idea, right? I think they are really solid on this. When it comes to overall like choice, I think they have a real reason to exist. I think that if they're able to polish all the little bugs are encountered in this beta phase, they might become one of the best distro for content creation. Because I really like the fact they're able to ship with DaVinci Resolve, that everything is supported out of the box. This, I really love it. So there is a lot of distro where you can install DaVinci Resolve, but the fact that it's already there and you just have to click in Calamares, Studio Edition, and you are good to go, for me is a big differentiator. So I asked them to add more things within this specific edition. I hope they're going to be able to implement it. We'll see when they release. We'll talk about it when they release. I wait them at the corner on this one. But I would say, yes, this is really nice. I really wish them a lot of success, because now they own the configuration of this distro. It's going to be a lot of work on their hand. And as I mentioned to some of those devs, because I know a lot of dev within the gaming Linux community, and I can tell like how hard it is to continue the work on the long run, because releasing a distro is pretty easy. Being able to maintain it in the coming months, coming year, is going to be the real challenge. So I share my thought about that, and I believe like with NixOS, I have a lot of work. It's not an easy task, but they seem up to the task, and I really hope the best for them. So yes, let me know in the comment below what you think. If you tried it, what is your feedback? If you want to help the project, if you believe in this vision, which is really like a gaming, click and install a distro based on NixOS, which could like sound a little bit crazy, easy distro based on NixOS, but anyways, it's there, it works. Don't hesitate to contribute and help them, because they're gonna need it. Like I know they're gonna need it. So yes, do it if you want. Yes, that's it. That's all, guys. I want to thank all of you for watching the video. Don't forget to put a thumbs up. Don't forget to follow and subscribe, because we're going to follow up on this. If you want to watch the full testing, because I think I spent like 11 hours live or 10 hours live on this specific distro, I'm going to put the link in the description below. I'm going to put also the link to the GitHub page down there. And also, I want to send a big thanks to all the members of La Crème de la Crème Club, whether it's on Patreon or YouTube. You guys are the best. If you want to become a member of La Crème de la Crème Club, please support me via PayPal, Patreon, or YouTube membership. Guys, that's it. That's all. Again, don't forget to put a little comment down there. It helps a lot. And see you in the next one. Bisous, bisous.